I felt seen by Emmerdale's Liv in a way I never have. I need more asexuals in soaps. I just don't get it. Sex, relationships and all that. It was such a pleasant shock to hear these words on television, in a scene on Emmerdale back in 2017. The comment, made by Liv Flaherty, played by Isabel Steele, not only chimed with my own experience, but I took me aback because I quite simply never heard asexuality, my orientation, talked about on screen before. If you're unsure what the term asexual means, then allow me to elaborate. The Asexual Visibility and Education Network defines an asexual person as someone who does not experience sexual attraction. They are not drawn to people sexually and do not desire to act upon attraction to others in a sexual way. It is estimated that roughly 1% of the population identify this way. But on TV and film, it certainly doesn't feel like 1% of the characters represent this. And while it is heartening to see that this is beginning to change, just look to Netflix shows such as Sex Education and Heartstopper who have introduced asexual characters in the last few months. It is still too often the forgotten sexual orientation. Because when there is so little visibility of asexuality in the media, it feels like each representation is even more important and holds more weight. That's why, in my opinion, soaps are the one form of media that have the power to tell stories like this more effectively and do them justice. Soaps are British institutions that can reach millions of people, from a wide demographic, several times a week. They have credibility on tackling underrepresented issues, and for me, there is no better platform in entertainment for asexuality to have the time and space to be explored fully and authentically. The storyline involving Liv Flaherty in Emmerdale is perhaps one of, if not the, most successful example to date. Joining the show in 2016 as Aaron's half-sister, Liv was already involved in some compelling storylines, including the fight to take down their abusive dad, immediately marking her as a beloved character. But a whole new story started when in 2017, she admitted to Belle that she wasn't attracted to anyone, male or female. The scene, which was praised by members of my community, received a lot of attention from viewers, largely because this simply hadn't been seen on television before. The word asexual was yet to be used on the program, but I wonder how many people watched that episode and felt understood for the very first time. I know I did. In the months after, I tuned in nightly to watch as Liv went on a journey of self-discovery that rang so true to my own experience. Like me, she struggled to figure out just how she was feeling and was having to get most of the information about asexuality from the internet before eventually gaining the confidence to proudly use the label. To see a character openly using the word asexual on primetime TV was so refreshing. It felt like confirmation that this identity did in fact exist in the real world, after being confined to discussions online for so long. Though we saw her try to kiss her best friend Gabby, thinking it was the right thing to do, at one point, Liv's defining connection was with Vinnie Dingle. It was a beautiful relationship, which saw the pair move in together and even get married. They faced a lot of challenges, but worked through steps like defining their relationship, saying the word girlfriend, and sleeping in the same bed, an approach that was always respectful to Liv. Their love and intimacy, even though sex was not involved, showed that an asexual person can have a happy, romantic relationship, which was reassuring for those like me who identified with Liv, while also shattering misconceptions about what this orientation can mean. Things weren't always handled perfectly by the show, of course. It was sometimes uncomfortable to watch Liv's asexuality being used against her by those who wanted to cause hurt, including her own mother, who tried to break up her marriage by suggesting Vinnie wouldn't be happy in a relationship without sex. But this doesn't diminish the impact of the storyline. Emmerdale should be commended for taking the time, over 5 years, to follow Liv's exploration, insecurity, self-doubt, and ultimately her happiness within her asexuality. All of this was portrayed brilliantly by Isabel too, who managed to express both Liv's vulnerability and confidence in her identity.
Xin chào các bạn đã quay trở lại UK Soát Spoiler. Vừa rồi các bạn đã theo dõi một sản phẩm của chúng tôi, UK Soát Spoiler, một kênh tin tức chuyên cung cấp cho các bạn những thông tin mới nhất về những bộ phim xà phòng của Vương quốc Anh.